This video is graphic.
Newly released shocking video shows these correctional officers fatally beating an inmate, Robert Brooks. The footage, blurred and redacted by state authorities, shows officers repeatedly kicking and punching Brooks in the legs and chest and trying to jam an object down his throat. New York's Attorney General says Brooks was pronounced dead December 10th, a day after these interactions with correctional officers was recorded.
I do not take lightly the release of this video.
James says the video doesn't have audio because the officers involved failed to properly activate their body cameras. It begins with Brooks being carried inside, handcuffed, and face down. He's then raised up, face bloodied, and punched in various parts of his body. Brooks was serving a 12-year sentence for stabbing his girlfriend. His attorney says his death is incomprehensible.
I was there with Mr. Brooks' son and his father and his brother. They all watched the video as well, and I think it was just the overwhelming shock. It was just felt so incomprehensible.
NBC News has not been able to reach attorneys for the 14 people under investigation, but the president for the Correction Officers Benevolent Association adding in a sharply worded statement, "The egregious and repugnant action of the officers who committed this heinous and fatal assault does not in any way reflect the values of the vast majority of correction officers, including my members." 13 personnel are currently suspended without pay. Another has resigned as the investigation continues. And yet, Tom, there are still questions tonight about what happened that led to the beating that we just saw. Tom?
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha, Quadash. I want to give double honors to that apostle, Nettles, a great millstone, who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Aki, and Nettle pushing his truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in and week out, in all truth and sincerity. So what you just witnessed was 13 correctional officers basically beat this inmate to death. You know, you saw him choking him. This guy right here, you know, is kicking him in the chest and the face. And this is all why he's handcuffed. It's a very cowardly act. Okay, and that's Esau's MO. He is nothing but a coward. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all see this and y'all still think that the so-called white man loves you, that he's your friend, that he cares for you. Do y'all not see a growing trend? It's like every couple months, you see a so-called black man getting choked to death by the police, getting suffocated to death by the police, and our people will march and protest to the oppressor about the oppressor's actions. And then it'll die back down. Jake will collect himself, and then something else will come up, man. And we got to understand that in these police task force, Esau has a Masonic organization sect amongst these various different police and military task force / branches. And a lot of these things that you see are, I don't want to get the right term for this, you know, are basically this is passed down through that Masonic part of that, you know, precinct to do these various acts. They take orders and they say, okay, we need y'all to do something on camera. We need y'all to, you know, put a so-called black man to death in a certain particular way for the public, for the masses to see. And you heard what they said concerning the indictment. These men weren't arrested. These men weren't put in handcuffs. You think that this video footage would be enough evidence to, okay, arrest warrants. We're going to arrest everybody involved in it. Even the onlookers, even the people that were, because I saw the full video, because this ain't the full video. You know, there's a full video which is more lengthy, and there's a lot of people standing around watching as this goes down. So like I was saying, you know, you would think this would be enough evidence to go round up everyone that was involved, everyone that was on the scene, and thrown in prison and been written up on charges, and ultimately we see a trial or at least put into effect, which we know Esau's corrupt court system, at the end of the day, it wouldn't matter in it so much. But you catch my drift. You see what I'm saying? But we always see the same thing over and over again concerning they get put on leave without pay while they're gathering information concerning this investigation, right? And you just had that Edomite cop that got let off on his charges of murdering a so-called black man, okay?
NBC News has not been able to reach attorneys for the 14 people under investigation, but the president for the Correction Officers Benevolent Association adding in a sharply worded statement, "The egregious and repugnant action of the officers who committed this heinous and fatal assault does not in any way reflect the values of the vast majority of correction officers, including my members." 13 personnel are currently suspended without pay. Another has resigned as the investigation continues. And yet, Tom, there are still questions tonight about what happened that led to the beating that we
see, when Esau deals with his police task force, they get proper treatment, so to speak. If this happened in a different particular manner with a different type of people, there would have been an extreme action taken very, very swiftly. All right. Let's go to Ezekiel 35. Because contrary to popular belief, the so-called white man, which is biblical nationality, is Esau Edom. He doesn't love you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you would think by now, in 2024, that our people would catch the drift, that they would get it. They would see, okay, man, I see what's going on. Hey, look what's happening to us. Look what's happening to our people. It's like Esau has an agenda out that every couple months, 6 months to a year, you see things like this happen. Okay? Or at least, this happens all the time, but, at least you see Esau put it on the forefront of the media and the news. Okay? This is Ezekiel 35:5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. So Esau Edom has had a perpetual hatred for you Israelites. And he shows it. Okay? Let's read that in the NLT. This is Ezekiel 35:5. It says, your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless. Hey, this man had handcuffs on, and you need how many men does it take, man? Come on, man. I ain't gonna have handcuffs. What does it take 2, 3, 4, 7, 10? You know what I'm saying? How many police officers do you need? It says your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins. All right. Now let's go into this word perpetual real quick. Our people thought they marched and held signs and congregated and voiced their opinion and cried to Esau Edom about the whole George Floyd situation. They thought that was going to do something. You thought you was going to change the mind of the Esau of Esau? That he was going to have a change of heart? That he was all of a sudden, you know what? You're right. I need to stop doing this. This is off. This is terrible. Forgive me. Come on, man. This is the wicked you're dealing with, man. The wicked does wickedness. Like the scripture says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. Matter of fact, before we get Ezekiel 35, let's get that real quick. This is Psalms 58, and let's go down to verse 3. let's start from verse 2. It says, "Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." All right. And Esau Edom says he'll say out of his own mouth he cares about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's concerned about you. He has in his mind the best interests of you. All right. He's doing this and that. And for look what all we're good we're doing for the community, right? Come on, man. The hierarchy of Esau knows exactly who you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are, man. All right. He knows that you're the Israelites. He knows you're an enemy. Let's go back to Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. In this video ain't gonna be too long. It's Ezekiel 35. And let's go into that word perpetual.
Strong's H5769.
So it says long duration, forever and ever, everlasting evermore. Old ancient. This is an old ancient hatred that Esau has had for Jacob, for you Israelites. It says forever, always, continuous existence. So Esau has never changed his hatred towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Though he has used various different tactics, strategies, and devices to cover certain things and make things seem as if they're not, as if there isn't, through various different means and his witchcraft, it's still the same. It says continuous existence, everlasting, indefinite, or unending future eternity. Esau's always going to have that hatred towards you Israelites. Even when he goes into captivity under the hands of the Israelites in the kingdom, he's still going to despise you. He's still going to hate you. Right? But our people can't get the picture, man. You can't paint a perfect picture for Jake, man. No matter how much you show him, no matter how much the so-called white man does to you Jakes, Jake will still revert back into putting all his time and energy into loving and saving the so-called white man. Okay? Let's go to Psalms. Matter of fact, let's close out on Psalm 73. And let's go down to, well, let's start in verse. Let's start in verse 5. It says, they are not in trouble as other men. You heard what they said, man. These men, hey, we got the footage, we got the evidence, we got the report, the witnesses, the eyewitnesses. You know, we got the body of this man. We have the cameras. And come on, you're going to tell me that all they have is body cam footage? You're going to tell me that there was no camera in this room? There was no camera in this particular part of this precinct or jail holding center? Come on now. You're going to tell me this is the first time that these men were involved in something like this? Come on. What we just witnessed was experience activity. They were comfortable doing this with smiles on their face. This wasn't their first rodeo. All right. And they enjoy doing this. They can't wait. You know, they ain't getting paid a whole lot of money. So they thrive off of, man, hey, we're going, hey, Tom, come on. When we going to do, come on, we'll get some action in. Right? This is what they talk about. All right, it says, this is Psalm 73 and 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Yeah, they did all this and they got leave. They right now they chilling. They got their feet up on the couch. They watching a football game. They watching a basketball game. They relaxing. They on the phone. They going to the grocery store. Where are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and these so-called gangs, repping all that fucking gang shit? You about this, you about that. Where y'all at, man? Huh? How are these police officers allowed to walk freely, man? All right, where's the outrage amongst that whole thing, man? You know, hey, Jake ain't about shit, man. They claim to be about a whole lot, but they only claim to be about a whole lot when it's dealing with their people, man. When it comes to the so-called white man, Jake ain't about shit, man. Jake sell wolf tickets, man. He talk about what he gonna do, but at the end of the day, you know, Jake is stooped down, man. It says, verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, and violence covereth them as a garment. Let's read that one more time. This is Psalm 73 and 6 again. It says, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Now let's read that in the NLT. Psalm 73 and 6 in the NLT, it says, they wear pride like a jeweled necklace. Hey, that's their badge of honor. They take great pride in the things that they do. They take great pride. These officers took great pride in what you just witnessed in this video. They didn't feel no remorse to that. Okay? It says they wear pride like a jeweled necklace and clothe themselves with cruelty. And this is what you just witnessed, man. You got all these guys beating up on one so-called black man. And, you see the evidence come about it, the video footage. And just like all the cases before these, there's red carpet treatment to these particular police officers, man. And that's a part of Esau's agenda. Okay, he rolls out that red carpet for these officers that participate in acts like this. And just like I said, there is a Masonic agenda, so to speak, amongst these various different police precincts, these police task force, to do these particular things, man. Okay, they want to see a certain number of you Jakes locked up in jail and prison. They want to see a certain level of crime rate, because if you take the crime rate away, if you take the various different skirmishes and problems that happen in these various different cities with, primarily amongst the communities of you Israelites, hey, the cops don't have nothing to do, man. All right? They don't have no job. Layoffs take place, man. There's no need for the officers. So they want to keep those prison houses to the maximum capacity, the jails as well, and they want things like this going on because this is gonna continue. You're gonna continue seeing footage like this of handcuffed Israelites getting beat up by so-called white cops. All right, Lord willing, that was edifying. To the next time, shalom.